on these boats to trade from Agusan, from Butuan in Mindanao. They would go all the way to China. Reports say they even got as far as India. They would bring goods back to trade here, bring our goods there. They would go the other way. They would go to Java, Sumatra. So we've been trading, we've been exporting for a really long time. So that's really nothing new. And we've been doing a good job because people were swapping things. They were bartering things for whatever we brought at that time, which was we would bring gold, we would bring cotton, we would bring, I think it was an indigo. Coming back, we can even have traces of, we have Persian beads, the old glass beads. We have Indian words in our language. We have Chinese words in our language. We sort of eat Filipino Chinese food. So even since those days, there was this great interchange of the Philippines and Southeast Asia. I do not say that the Philippines was at the center of it, but let's just be politically correct and say we were one of the many countries that were trading at that time. So we ask, is it design that impacts on heritage? It's actually the other way around. It's heritage that impacts on design. And we're going to find out that it's heritage that impacts also on everything else. But first we have to talk about heritage, because once you talk heritage, once you talk culture, people think that it's something that's very abstract and it's something that's up in the sky and not, but it's really very real. Culture is shown culture is actually the effect of everything that the people have done since year zero. So our culture has to do with our language, with our form of governance, religious beliefs, our values, our art, our music, the costumes or the clothes that we wear, cuisine, even mannerisms, even that Filipino thing of pointing with your lips or raising your eyebrows, that's part of our culture. So culture is not something, hoity-toity and uppity. It's everyday stuff. Nawawala. It's everyday stuff. Wait, now I'm double wired. So culture is everyday stuff. And it's the culture of a people that makes them unique. You can tell who's a Filipino. You can be in an airport in Dubai, in London, in New York. You can tell a Pinoy when he walks past. We can't explain why, but we can tell. I mean, normally don't make a mistake. Because we share the same cultural heritage. That is what makes us unique. The Pinoy has a cultural heritage and an expression of this heritage in a way that is very Pinoy. We cannot be, or some of us have tried to be and have successfully become pseudo-German, pseudo-Spanish, pseudo-American, but deep down inside, the Pinoy will always come out somewhere along the line and somehow. Philippine culture actually has been around for a very long time. Filipinos have this thing that we like to think of ourselves as being very kawawa, very disadvantaged. So we like to say that we have no culture, but we really do. This is a burial site that was found in Palawan in the Tabon Caves, and this is from the year 370 AD. Here you have all of these burial jars. We'll see details of these later. And it shows that at 370 AD, there were people who lived in this God-forsaken place in Palawan. I went there. You don't really want to go there. Just look at the picture. But it shows that in 370 AD, there were people living in Palawan who had this religious belief and cultural belief of an afterlife. So they had these pots. They were buried inside pots. These are secondary burials, actually. So it's only the bones that go into these pots. But meaning that since they took care of the bones and put them into specially made pots, there was already this belief of some kind of religion and some kind of afterlife. So who's to say that we really never had any culture? Heritage is really the same as culture. So those words are interchangeable. But we have many, many different heritages. We share an Asian heritage. We have the same kind of Asian heritage as our brothers who live in Thailand, who live in China, who live in Japan. We all eat rice. We can't do without eating rice every day. We share that. That's called the rice culture, by the way. We share many other values with them, like respect for elders and politeness and so on and so forth. But we also, they don't share with us, all the other Asians, our special national heritage. We have a special national heritage where we share a language. We have many different dialects of one of the same language. The root of this language is basically the same. You can more or less understand from Tagalog, you can understand Cebuano, you can understand a little bit of Ilocano. Sometimes it's difficult, but the roots of these languages are the same. That's something we nationally share. We share the same kind of belief system. We have the same kind of national value system. It's the thing of, there's this Pinoy thing of going, excuse me po, you know, this patawad thing. That's a national, everybody in the country shares that. So we have heritage that everybody, all Filipinos share. But then we have another kind of heritage that's regional. Ifugaos have a regional heritage of their own, as do the Ilocanos, as do Tagalogs or Manileños also. Cebuanos have their own. So that's a different kind of heritage that we may not share with the Cebuanos, but that then identifies us as from Manila, from Cebu, from Baguio, or whatever. We have an urban heritage. This is another type of heritage that we all share. Everybody from Manila shares the same kind of heritage. We have the same kind of unwritten laws for driving. We don't follow rules, but there are rules. There's a method to the madness. We all share the same pollution. We all share the same ugliness of the city. We all share the same despair. But again, all of us say we love our city. I mean, it's a city we love to hate. That's an urban heritage that we share. We have a neighborhood heritage. You might come from Paco, and there are certain things that you do in Paco. There's the best pandesal store. There's the best fish store. In Santa Ana, there's a special pancit, if you didn't know, that's only available in Santa Ana. There's one stall in the market that does it. So that's neighborhood heritage. If you live in Makati, you have a different type of heritage that you share with your neighbors also. We have family heritage. We have family stories. We have family gossip. We have skeletons in our closet. That we share with only our family. We don't share that with our neighborhood, although they love talking about that. We don't share that really with our neighborhood. We don't share that with our city. That we keep to ourselves. And then each one of us in this room, there may be about, I don't know how many, 80 people in this room. Each one has his own personal heritage. Personal heritage really has to do with where you went to school, what ideas you believe in, why you are so weird or why you are so charming. That's your personal heritage. So you see, there are many kinds of heritage, but all of these types of heritage come together in one package. You can be a Filipino and have Filipino heritage, but you can also have your own personal heritage of being very, very weird or very, very sociable or liking to dance or dancing very well. You can have an urban heritage of being a true Manileño through and through, as well as having a neighborhood heritage of knowing where to buy the best pandesal in your block. All of these facets of heritage work together. They come and make the package that we are. They make us who we are. They make us Filipinos. They make us different from everybody else. Another big influence to heritage is history. We like to say that our history is damaged. Our culture is damaged and all of that. That again falls into this terrible Filipino misrepresentation of being so kawawa and so ape. History actually, as we can see, we've had a pre-Hispanic history. We've seen the burial jars. We have an Asian history. We've been trading with China and so on and all these other countries. That has made an influence in our daily lives today. We have a Spanish colonial history. We all have Spanish sounding